In 2018, Ramona J. Smith won the Toastmasters International World Championship of Public Speaking. Since then, she has delivered keynote speeches in 14 countries across the continent. This morning, she will share a few successes and challenges on her Toastmasters journey and quest to become a limitless orator with her speech, conquering the world while staying down to earth. Join me in welcoming Ramona.
Good morning. Thumbs up if I'm audible. Good?
You are audible.
Oh, excellent, excellent. Good morning. As you can see, it is early Saturday morning. I am actually in Ohio getting ready to cheer on my son and the court leaders while they play AAU basketball. That's the beauty of virtual speaking and virtual conferences. You can be where you want to be, still in tune with where you need to be. I want to speak with you well, I guess an hour is not briefly, but not go too far into these 3 points. Point 1 is going to be follow your feelings. Point 2 is going to be check your ego. Point 3 is baby steps. As we go on this quest, this journey, in regards to my public speaking experience, I also want you to think about your experience, not only with public speaking and Toastmasters, but just with following your bliss and following your dreams, your goals, and your passions as a whole. I titled the keynote Conquering the World While Staying Down to Earth, simply because world champion is a huge title, right? Being the champion of anything is a huge title. However, you still want to maintain that humility and stay grounded in order to continue to grow and to continue to build relationships, genuine relationships with people all across the world. One thing I learned about myself during my travels is that I am a cultural chameleon, right? Have you ever heard of that term? If not, let's break it down a little bit. I started the first world tour in Dubai, had never been to the Middle East before. As far as my travels extended was to Denmark and to West Africa. That's as far as I had gone. But I had started in Dubai. And even when I got to Dubai, I didn't feel like a stranger. I didn't feel like an alien. I didn't feel out of place. And from Dubai, I went over to Oman and Qatar and Abu Dhabi and Kuwait and Saudi Arabia and Bahrain and Malaysia and India. And all these places, I, as they call it, immersed myself in the culture. I learned that I was a cultural chameleon. And that's one way that kept me down to earth. That's one thing that kept me humble. I never went as a snooty American who had just won this big Toastmasters title. I went to observe and absorb, and that has helped me tremendously in staying down to earth and keeping myself humble in my travels and in my successes. Let's start with my Toastmasters journey. Let's start with my Toastmasters journey, which started in 2010 unofficially. I'm not sure what happened with that club, but it is not officially documented in my Toastmasters history. However, I started in 2010 with a club in Hawthorne, California called the Dream Catchers. And why did I join Toastmasters initially? Because I've always had this innate passion, this innate skill to speak publicly. I've never had stage fright. I've never been shy, not even camera shy. I've always loved to be on the stage, whether it was when I was younger doing talent shows or giving those horrible speeches on Easter Sunday at church. I've never been afraid of that. And as I got older and realized that you could do public speaking, like that was a thing, you could really become a public speaker and that could be a career. That's when my sister introduced me to Toastmasters. She said, you want to be a great speaker, you want to be an internationally known motivational speaker, you need to try this organization to polish up your skills. I tried it, I joined, and I loved it. I was wild at first with my speaking. And I still tend to speak a little fast, especially when I'm comfortable with the audience. And Toastmasters helped me to time my speeches. Toastmasters has helped me to understand how to format and organize a speech, and has taught me how to lead as well. And as someone who's always had this passion for public speaking, when something felt good to me, I would go with it. And whenever I went with that feeling, it always worked out. First point, follow your feelings. Now, this does not just have to do with public speaking. This is in general. You ever told yourself, like, this just doesn't feel right? Or your gut, or your intuition, or the voice in the back of your mind, wherever that is. I don't even know where that's located, but something in the back of my mind is telling me that this is not right, or it just doesn't feel right. We need to start following that feeling a little bit more. We need to start following that feeling a little bit more. And once we can follow that feeling, it's going to lead us to places that we've never thought we could go before, or it's going to give us experiences that we've never experienced ever before. Following your bliss, following what feels good. And a prerequisite to that is knowing yourself, knowing who you are, knowing what you're good at, and knowing what you like. A lot of us get so busy and so caught up with life that we don't even have time to listen to ourselves. We don't have time to listen to the voice in the back of our mind, or we don't have time to follow those gut instincts because we're on the go. We got a checklist. Everything has to get done. We are spinning around kind of on that hamster wheel, and we don't have time to listen to ourselves. So when we look up, 10 years, 20 years, 30 years have gone by, and we still find ourselves unfulfilled and unhappy. When you follow your feelings and you get in tune with your feelings, that's when you'll really be able to accomplish those goals, to achieve those things that you've been wanting to do for a long time that some of us still haven't today. Let me ask you this question. How did you feel when you woke up this morning? How did you feel when you woke up this morning? I tell you how I felt when I woke up this morning. When I woke up this morning, I felt happy, and not just happy, but joyful. Because the difference, in my opinion, between happy and joyful is happy is temporary. Happy is you're driving and you're smiling and everything is great, and the car cuts you off, and that instantly ruins your mood, and that ruins the rest of your day. That's happy. But joy is, I won't say it's permanent, but joy is more solid. Joy is more solid. Because with joy, it's just an overwhelming feeling of peace. And it's a feeling that you don't allow anything else to steal. So joyful people, when they're on a highway, they're smiling, they're driving, somebody cuts them off, they say, you know what? Hey, maybe he or she's in a rush. Maybe they have to go to the bathroom really bad, but guess what? Hey, I'm not in a rush. Have a nice day. And you keep whistling and you keep singing. That's the difference between happiness and joy, in my opinion. When I woke up this morning, I was joyful. Why was I joyful? Because I followed my feelings and I followed my bliss all the way from Houston, Texas to Cleveland, Ohio. Because I'm what they call a long distance parent, right? I'm what they call a long distance parent. That means that I reside in Houston, Texas, and my one and only firstborn son lives in Cleveland, Ohio. But I felt like I wanted to support him. And it's not an NBA game. And some people are like, you're going to do all this traveling for an AAU game when he's 8 years old? Yes, I am, because that makes me happy. So I felt the need to see my child and to support him. And so I did that. And by following that bliss, I can see the glow in my face, because I can't wait to see the smile on his face. And I woke up peaceful because I chose a great Airbnb to stay in. I chose an Airbnb that's on a golf course, and it's surrounded by lights and fountains and a beautiful landscape, right? I'm following these feelings, and I'm following these good feelings, right? Because your feelings are going to be your guide. Your feelings are going to direct you to where you need to be. So I'm following these good feelings. And so when I woke up this morning, I was happy, I was joyful, I was elated just to be. If you woke up and you did not feel that way this morning, what's going on? What's the issue? Where did you miss something? What feeling did you not follow? Maybe this morning you told yourself, I'm going to wake up early, I'm going to wake up early, I'm going to wake up early, but you weren't really feeling it. And so when you got up early, you woke up and you were grumpy and you were upset because you felt that feeling told you, look, you need an extra hour of sleep because you had a long night or you had a long week. That feeling, you ignored that feeling, and then you forced yourself. You forced yourself to get up, and now you're sitting with your camera off, and I can't see your mean mug. I can't see your face, but you're not feeling it right now, right? So when you ignore those feelings and when you put them to the side, that can deter you from reaching those goals and from reaching that ultimate level of happiness and bliss. One way you can conquer the world and still be humble and still be down to earth is by following your feelings and by listening to those voices on the inside of you telling you to take a break or telling you to relax and fall back or telling you that, look, today we have to say no. Today we just simply have to say no because there's some yes people on this call. I can't see your face. I can't see everybody right now, but there are some yes people on this call who refuse to say no, but in your refusal to say no, you are neglecting yourself. As a world champion of public speaking, especially in 2018, there were, I had hundreds of emails every single week asking me, can you come? Can you come? Can you come? Can you come here? Can you come there? And at first I was the yes lady. Yeah, I'll go. And then I got burned out. And then I got burnt out. How many of you are on here and you need to start saying no politely? I got so burnt out that from constantly saying yes because I was ignoring my feelings that like I started to get unhealthy. Like I think I came back for all types of headaches, things that had never happened. That stop. You need to slow down. And why do we ignore those voices? Because we want to make other people happy. Because we want other people to look at us a certain way. Well, if I say no, what are they going to think about me? If I say no, then they're going to feel like I'm not passionate about this organization. Or if I say no, what are they going to think? But you're neglecting yourself when you do that. Oh, somebody just said saying no is saying yes to yourself. Absolutely. And even though sometimes we know these things, we need a reminder. We need a reminder. You cannot conquer the world if you are constantly trying to give so much externally that you are being empty inside. You cannot conquer the world. And when I say conquer the world, I'm not just talking about public speaking. Conquer your world, conquer your work world, conquer your relationship world, conquer your family world, conquer your financial world. You cannot conquer your world if you continue to give externally and you don't pour back into yourself. There's some type of phrase, and I always get it wrong, but you can't pour from an empty cup. I think I actually said it right that time. You cannot pour from an empty cup. So you have to pour into yourself so that you have something to give to others. And you do that, you start pouring into yourself by listening to what your voices are saying, by acknowledging your feelings, by feeling what you feel and being okay with the feeling. Feeling what you feel and being okay with that feeling. Do I have an example of that? Let's see. Can't give what you don't have. Absolutely, Jane. Can I give what you don't have? I'm trying to think of a really good example of that. Probably, if you see my speech, you know about my marriage that lasted for 1 year. That lasted for 1 year. And my ex-husband was a beautiful person, beautiful man, handsome and smart and strong and intelligent and great. And he was pouring so much into me, y'all. He was pouring so much into me, all his love, all his energy. He was pouring into me financially. He was giving me everything. And I wasn't giving him that in return. I wasn't giving him that in return, yet he felt like it was his, I'm her husband and I have to do all this stuff. So he neglected himself a lot to pour into me. It didn't last a year. We got divorced, right? So you're pouring into yourself. He was pouring into me. He was ignoring himself. He was ignoring his feelings, which probably said, look, she's not giving you that same energy, bruh. She's not giving you that same energy. So why do you need to take a step back and let her give you something? But he never did. He ignored it. Well, what are people going to think about me if I'm not taking care of my wife? What are people going to think about me if I'm not giving her the world? What type of husband do people think I'm going to be if I'm not just being this perfect husband? But he was getting nothing back into himself, and he got burnt out. He got burnt out from a one-sided marriage, and that ended up in divorce, right? So pour into yourself, follow those feelings, stop ignoring what they are, what yourself is saying to you, and understand that sometimes you have to take a step back, take a deep breath, and understand that you have to listen to you. You have to give yourself some inspiration, give yourself some motivation, give yourself a lot of time. I speak a lot about self-care because it's so very important. It's so very important. So follow your feelings. Follow your feelings. I always follow my feelings and I don't ignore them. And that has taken me to some places of peace that I never thought that I would ever experience. Let's talk about ego a little bit. Let's talk about ego, because I feel like some people get self-fullness confused with selfishness. Self-full versus selfish. And anytime we talk about self, I have lots of people who are very uncomfortable because we are not taught self-love. That's not a course in college now, I don't think. We don't learn that in high school. Everything we do is outward. It's outward. It's about working. It's about giving. It's about doing. It's outward. They never say in school, I don't remember, and I'm getting a little older now, but I don't remember any time where it said like, look, just chill, fall back, meditate for a little bit and see how far that takes you. It's always on the go, on the go, on the go. So let's talk about ego a little bit. The first time I competed with the international speech contest was in 2015. That was the first time I ever competed. And I was excited, mostly for the trophy. And that's just being honest. I was excited about the trophy. I was excited about winning. I wanted the title so badly that I could taste it. And I had what we call beginner's luck. I would honestly say I had beginner's luck. I mean, I had a decent speech, and my natural energy and enthusiasm, it helps with my delivery. But I was full of beginner's luck. And so we all know we're here. Some speech contests going on today, I heard. And you win at the club level. So I won at the club level, and then I won at the area level. And if you heard my speech, you've heard me talk about this before. One at the club level, one at the area level, one at the division level, on to the district level. But at this point, and I don't know if anybody else has experienced it, but at this point when I'm winning, I'm going, and I'm like, it's effortless. Like, what? I could do this in my sleep. That started to feed my ego. And ego is the worst enemy to people in power, or to the people with titles, people in respectable titles or in respectable positions. Ego is the worst enemy to anybody in a position of power, anybody in a public position, because ego means that you feel like you are the biggest, the baddest, and the best, that nobody can beat you, nobody can defeat you, people are beneath you, you are the greatest thing on the planet Earth. I started to get that feeling when I continued to win. Before I did the district contest, I was that person. And I know we all know one person right now who's probably doing it. I was that guy. I was going around saying, I am the 2015 world champion of public speaking. It's already mine. I have it. But it wasn't coming from a place of gratitude. It wasn't coming from a place of, what can I give once I get there? It was coming from a place of, I just want it because I want to be able to put it in people's faces and say, here, this is my trophy. This is what I have. Ha, ha, ha. So naturally, I go to the district level with that same energy, that same, I'm better than everybody here. I was competing against some people. At the time I was in my 20s, I was competing against people in their 50s and 60s. I'm like, these old people can't beat me. I was listening to the other people's speeches, and one lady was talking about a vacuum cleaner and her husband's favorite cup of coffee. I'm like, ha, I can beat that, right? So I gave my all, and I knew I had it. I knew it. And honestly, I had already packed my bags to go to Vegas. That's where the semifinals were that year. I had already packed my bag to go to Vegas because I knew that I was going. And when they called third place and they said Ramona J. Smith, it was over because I was led by my ego. Because I was led by my ego. And honestly, side note, I actually just put, for those of you competing today or competing in the future, thinking about competing next year, this is a little tip for you. Actually, 3. I did, I don't know if any of you were on TikTok, but I did a TikTok video of the 3 things you should never do. 3 things you should never do after losing a speech contest. And this is all ego related, right? Because we think our speeches are the best in the world, and that if other people don't like our speeches, it somehow attacks us as a person. Not true. The 3 things that I did in the past that one should never do after losing a public speaking contest, specifically with Toastmasters, is 1, don't quit the organization. I did. I left Toastmasters for a few years after I lost. That's ego. Number 2, don't accuse people of cheating. Now, I didn't say it out loud. I didn't say, oh, those judges were cheaters, but I thought it in my mind. Like, how can, and the lady who won, I won't say her name, but she knows, I mean, I love her now, but she gave this speech that I thought my speech was better than hers. So don't accuse the judges of cheating. If you lose today for some reason, or if one of your friends loses today, do not accuse the judges of cheating. Oh, they cheated. Oh, it's not fair. Oh, it's a conspiracy. No, it's not. The judges are humans just like you and me. If your speech doesn't touch me, or if your speech doesn't reside or sit with me like somebody else's does, it doesn't mean I'm cheating, or it doesn't mean they're cheating. So don't do that. That's ego. And number 3, things to never do after a public speaking contest, I said, don't cheat, don't quit, don't ever stop competing. Don't ever stop competing. You may need to reevaluate why you're competing, but don't stop competing. That's just ego. Why are you competing in the first place? And then let's flip it to anything that you've done that you've, and I'll repeat them. 3 things to never do after losing a speech contest. 3 things to never do after you lose a speech contest, especially if you are so excited and your friends and your coworkers and your family members have said, this speech is phenomenal. I cried. I literally cried after you gave that speech. And you're like, yes, I took my time. Maybe you even hired a coach. I put all this energy into it. I know I'm going to win. And you don't. These are 3 things that you don't do. Don't quit Toastmasters, especially if you have a leadership position. Don't walk away from the organization because one aspect didn't go your way. So 1, don't quit. 2, please don't go around accusing people of cheating unless you have solid, strong evidence and you can build a case. Take it to the proper authorities. Take it through the chain of command, but don't just accuse people of cheating. It's just not a good look. It's not professional. It's not what we are all about in Toastmasters. You know our core values: respect, integrity, service, and excellence, right? So let's uphold those core values and not accuse our fellow Toastmasters of cheating us. But if you feel like it, There's proper procedures and proper ways to do it without going on Facebook and say they cheated me. Don't do that. And finally, don't stop competing. Try again. Try again. But if your ego is bruised, you are not going to want to try again. If it's ego driven, you are not going to want to try again at all. But I encourage you to reevaluate why you are speaking competitively and to let your why lead you. In 2015, I was completely led by my ego, and I walked away from the organization for about a year, and then I came back and I tried again, and I didn't even make it past the club level, so I walked away again. And then when I moved to Houston in 2018, I calmed down. I had a few years to experience some things, a few years to grow, a few years to reflect. And I came back in 2018 and I said, you know what? Toastmasters is a wonderful organization for someone with my goals and my aspirations of being a better leader and a better speaker. Not going to walk away from this organization. I'm going to appreciate the organization, and I'm going to readjust my goals. So my goal in 2018, when I rejoined Toastmasters at the Cypher Super Speakers, which I'm the president now and the area director, I had to say, I'm not in it to win it, basically. I'm not just in Toastmasters to win this World Championship of Public Speaking. I'm really here and I'm ready and I'm going to buckle down. I'm going to eliminate my ego completely. I'm going to let it go, let that go, and I'm going to see how can I serve? How can I serve? So I eliminated my ego, right? I eliminated my ego. And from there, as they say, the rest is history. I'm getting a little bit of a sun glare. That just means the sun likes me. Let me see how I can get it a little. I guess that's as good as it's gonna get. But stay with me. Stay with me. If you're still here, then it's for you. If you're still here, then this word is for you. So I eliminated my ego, I reevaluated my goals, and I asked myself, how can I serve? Instead of how can I shine, I asked myself, how can I serve? And then I said, you know what? My goal is to become a better speaker. And the way to become a better speaker is to compete. So, and I say this in pretty much each one of my keynotes with Toastmasters. So instead of going in saying I want to win a trophy, I went in with 3 goals in mind: to learn, to grow, to have fun, right? To learn, to grow, to have fun. Eliminating the ego completely and jumping in it saying, I want to learn. I want to learn from these other speakers I'm competing with. I want to grow as a speaker every time I move to another level. I want to grow. How can I grow myself as a speaker and to have fun? When I get on the stage, I want to laugh. I want to smile. I want to be excited. I want the audience to be excited for me to be here. I want us to enjoy each other instead of getting on the stage and saying, I just want to be the best so I can win. Nope. Didn't even think about winning. And of course, once I threw all the negative out the window and once I got out of my ego, that's when things started to ascend. Smooth, easily. It was just like alignment. It was just magical because I was there for the right reasons. Lucretia says, yes, learn from it and move forward. Absolutely. And so check your ego for point 2. Point 1 was following those good feelings. Point 2, check your ego. Are you just becoming the district director to say that you're a district director and to be in control of people? Are you competing in the speech contest just to say that you're going to win or just to grab the title of World Champion of Public Speaking? What's your why? If your why is only about you, then you might need to reevaluate. If your why is not about respect and integrity, service, and excellence, you might need to reevaluate your why. So I'm going to flip this acronym, and for Toastmasters' sake, where is not that we are supposed to stay away from religion, sex, and politics, but you don't want to go there. So I'm going to say ego stands for edging goodness out. How about that? Edging goodness out. If your intentions are not good, if your feelings are not good, if you are not in alignment with goodness, when you're achieving your goals and when you're following your dreams and when you're going for these positions and titles and contests, you might need to reevaluate. Because once you get there, how are you going to treat other people? How are you going to treat other people? If I would have become the 2015 world champion of public speaking, I probably wouldn't have got this invite from Monica today, because I would have thought that I was the queen of the world. I would have thought that Toastmasters ended and began, and I was the ending in the beginning of Toastmasters. You would have thought I was Ralph Smedley. So that I know that that's why 2015 was not my year, because I was not ready and I had not checked my ego. Let's talk about baby steps. Let's talk about baby steps. So in each of these steps, there are baby steps. So we talked about point one, following your feelings. Well, Ramona, I don't know what that means. I don't know how to follow my feelings. You start with baby steps. You start by maybe, perhaps, journaling. You start by journaling how you feel and really your raw feelings. How are you feeling today? Or you can do, I have what's called the Calm app, CALM, the Calm app. Every single day, it asks me to check in how I'm feeling. It asks me to check in how I'm feeling. So you can do that for a week or two and then go back and review, journal, and meditate every day. Absolutely. You staying connected. You staying connected. You understanding how am I feeling today. You're being honest with your feelings, and you can follow those feelings from there. So through the Calm app, CALM app, it's a free app unless you want to pay for the extras, and I don't. But you can set a reminder for it to ask you to check in with your feelings every single day. So do that for 7 days. If you can't do it for 7, do it for 3. If you can't do it for 3, do it for 2. If you can't do it for 2, just try one day at a time, right? So you can start to get connected with your feelings. McKinley, I see your comment, but I can't see the whole thing. It was your season. So thank you. I'm gonna revisit that if I can later on, or if somebody else can read the comment, I would love to, because I want us to stay engaged. But so seeing.
I can read the comment.
I'm sorry.
I can read that comment for you.
Would you please?
Yeah, he said it was your season to be who you are. Once you understand your why, continue to grow yourself.
Absolutely. Definitely. I love that. Thank you. And y'all keep the comments coming. Let's stay engaged. Let's stay engaged. I feel like we're all about to go to my son's basketball game in a minute. So come on, join me. So yes, go back and see how you're feeling on those days. Monday, I was sad. Tuesday, I was excited. Wednesday, I was tired. Thursday, I was anxious. Friday, I was happy again, right? And then when you go back, look at the days when you were happy. Look at the days when you were happy and see what made you happy. See what made you happy. And so your baby steps with that, or your and baby steps, I'm not calling anybody a baby, but the beginning of your quest to conquer the world, right? The beginning of your quest of conquering the world is going to start with these small little things, So going back, first of all, giving yourself permission to express how you feel, giving yourself permission to have an outlet and a release for your feelings, and 2, going back and looking through the days where you were extremely happy, or you were joyful, or you were excited or enthused, or whatever adjective you want to use to describe your feelings. Take the high ones and go back through the day and remind yourself of what those things were that made you so happy. Go back through those days and remind yourself of what made you so happy. Was it walking the dog and when you bent down, she licked your face and it just made you so happy? Was it going out to eat with your girlfriends and you guys lost track of time because you had so much fun? Was it kissing your wife goodnight and she reached up and grabbed you? Was it when you took a trip or took a hike and you saw something beautiful? Remind yourself of those little things, right? And then your challenge is to do more of those things. Do more of those things. Do more of those things that are going to make you happy. Do more of those things that are going to make you happy. Oh, I don't have time, Ramona. Oh, I got a whole family and I just started this new career and I coach on the side, plus Toastmasters. Okay, well, if you don't make the time, then happiness may not be your goal. Then joyfulness may not be your goal. Then conquering the world may not be your goal, because you can conquer the world and work your fingers to the bone to get where you want to be. But if you get there and you are tired and unhappy, you're still going to be searching. You're still going to be searching. So why not try these little tiny ideas and suggestions so that when you do get to that ultimate goal, you will be happy, you'll be joyful, you'll be satisfied, and you won't have to operate out of the ego of making other people feel small or feeling like you want to be on top of other people to make yourself feel good. When people do that and they operate out of the ego, it's because they're missing something on the inside. So as leaders and speakers, we don't want to be missing anything on the inside, because then we're going to be trying to find external things to fulfill that. So starting with those little things, right, that make you happy. It doesn't have to be going on a family vacation. It doesn't have to be buying a new car. It doesn't have to be anything major. What are the little things that make you smile? And some of us already know them, and some of us need a reminder. But if you already know them, then you should be doing more of those things, because when you do more of those things that make you happy and make you feel good, it's going to give you those good feelings. And when you are feeling good, that means that everything is in alignment. That means that you are on the right track and on the right path, right? We don't want to have any resistance. We don't want to be on this call right now because we have to be. We don't want to be on this call right now because, oh, wow, I got to do my Toastmasters duty. That's not why I'm here. I'm here to share some information, to hopefully uplift someone, to help someone conquer the world, but still be down to earth at the same time, right? So what is it to gain the whole world, but look at yourself in the mirror and say, I'm not happy? So start with these little things. Follow those good feelings, because the more you feel good, the more good things are going to come to you. I know we've heard of the law of attraction, right? The law of attraction. You attract what you are. So what are you? Are you feeling happy? Are you feeling elated? Or are you feeling sad, down, anxious, and depressed? I'm not a therapist. I'm not a psychologist, but I know that when I feel good, everything around me seems to be in alignment with that. When I feel good, even on a cloudy day, I can still see that silver lining. When I feel good, even if something small happens that would have usually threw me off, I can get past that because I got good feelings. Let those good feelings guide you, and let them be that compass for the rest of your day and hopefully the rest of your life. So do more, figure out how you're feeling, figure out what makes you feel good, do more of that. So those are baby steps for feeling good and following those good feelings, right? As far as checking your ego, if you have an issue with your ego, reevaluate why. Reevaluate your why. Why do I feel the need to be the biggest, the baddest, and the best? Why do I feel the need to want to have an advantage over other people? Why do I feel the need to only feel important when I'm doing something better than somebody else? Why? Reevaluate your why. And then go back to those feeling exercises. Go back to those feelings exercises. If the only reason why I want to be an area director is to say that I'm an area director, do I really need to be an area director? How am I going to be serving other people if I'm only here for myself? If I become the 2021 world champion of public speaking, and I'm only doing that to say that I have this title, how am I going to be able to serve the 300,000 plus other Toastmasters in the organization, right? So check your ego. Don't edge that goodness out. We want more good. We want the things that make us feel happy and fuzzy and warm inside, right? And so to each of these, we take baby steps. We don't have to conquer the world in one day. We don't have to change our lives and make these huge adjustments in one day. We do it one thing at a time. So for me, my ultimate goal in life is to be the Black female Tony Robbins, right? That's my goal in life. I want to be the Black female Tony Robbins, right? But tomorrow, I'm not going to wake up and be that. So what baby steps have I taken to continue to reach that goal? Well, the first thing was acknowledging that I have this skill, that I have this fire on the inside of me whenever I'm speaking publicly. Have you acknowledged what you want to do or what you're good at? Have you acknowledged that ultimate goal yet? So that was the first thing, acknowledging that, wow, I'm a great public speaker and I want to do this. The second thing I did was join an organization like Toastmasters. Know your passion, Stan. Absolutely. The second thing I did was join an organization that's in alignment with what I want to do. What better organization than Toastmasters, right? Now, some people would say the NSA. The NSA has some fees that I wasn't willing to pay. So I got into alignment with what I wanted, with what I wanted to do, right? So if my ultimate goal was conquering the world but staying down to earth, how can I do that? Join Toastmasters. So I joined Toastmasters and I began to increase my skills as a leader and a speaker, right? Another baby step, starting to compete. Another baby step, starting to compete. All you have to do is sign a piece of paper for the speech contest. Did that, done, competing, right? And so these little tiny steps that I'm taking towards my goals are ultimately going to get me there. But if I'm not doing anything and I'm just sitting on these dreams and sitting on these goals, how is that helpful? Some of you are sitting on some great ideas, and some of you are sitting on some great thoughts. Can somebody read Sarah's comment for me? I can't see the whole entire thing.
Yes, it says, I love your honesty about not spending when you don't have to.
Yes, absolutely. Yes. Yeah, Toastmasters, I love the fees, the dues. It's just right. It's just right. And I'm sure there's value in other organizations, but this one works for me. And so some of us are sitting on gifts. Some of us are sitting on talents. Some of us are holding or hoarding ideas and great things in our minds and in our hearts. And we're just letting them sit stagnant, right? We have these gifts, right? But what is a gift? What is a gift? A gift is something that you give. So if you have gifts or people tell you you're gifted in these areas, but you're not sharing, is that fair? Is that fair to the world? You ever had someone, maybe when you were younger or when you were in a relationship and somebody said, I have something for you. I have something very special for you. And they don't give it to you. And you know it's there. You know it's there. For example, your grandma said she got you a Tonka truck or a Barbie that you really wanted, and grandma lives out of state or something like that. A gift is something you give, absolutely right. And you like, okay, I know she has this Barbie for me. I know she has this, let me use big girl and big boy terms. My rich uncle bought me a Tesla, but it's in Delaware and I'm in Texas, right? But I know it's there. I'm excited about it. I can't wait to get it. But you never get it, but you still have the enthusiasm and the expectation because you know it's there. You just haven't got it yet. That's how the world feels when you're sitting on your gifts or you're hoarding your ideas in your mind. We know that you have something great, but you're not giving it to us. And that feeling of like, oh my goodness, I know it's there, but I want it so bad. How can I get it? How can I get it? Right? We're waiting for you. You still have our gift under the Christmas tree. Go ahead with the comment, please.
Dana said, nice secular twist, but I thought they were gifts from God to you to share back to the world.
If you want to take it like that, absolutely. Absolutely. Now, if we were at church, I would all the way go there. But I'm not going to get religious and spiritual on this call. But if that's how you want to take it, absolutely. Absolutely. So we are waiting for you. We are anxiously waiting for you to give us the gifts that you have. And every day, every moment, every week, every month, every year that you put that book on hold, that you put that invention on hold, that you put that design on hold, somebody in the world is missing out on that. And that's not fair. That's not fair, especially if you know full well that you have this gift. You know it. People have told you, you told yourself, you know it, but you are choosing to push it back and put it on the back burner. I'm gonna be brave and say shame on you. I'm gonna be brave and say shame on you, because if I would have suppressed my gift as a speaker and I would have said, no, I'm not competing, I'm just gonna be the VPM, I'm not gonna compete, then the over 1 million people saw Still Standing, the speech that I gave. Over 1 million people saw that speech. Now, I'm not saying 1 million people were touched by it, but I know at least 1 or 2 were changed completely by that speech. And if you can reach or change or teach 1 or 2 and make a strong impact in their life, then it's worth it. You don't know the lives you can save with the gifts that you have. You don't know the lives that you can save with the gifts that you have. But if we don't know and you don't show, how is that fair? You are doing a disservice to humanity if you're sitting on your gifts. And they don't have to be extravagant gifts. Everybody doesn't want to be the public speaking world champion. Everybody doesn't want to be Oprah. Everybody doesn't want to be Bill Gates or Michelle Obama. Everybody doesn't want to be that, or Martha Stewart, or whoever, or Beyonce, right? That soup that you make so well, that pie that you cook so well that have people licking their fingers and almost biting their fingertips off, the way you sew, the way you stitch, the way you draw, the way you paint, the way you tell a joke, right? It's a gift that's unique to you, and nobody can do it like you can. So something that you think is so small or so minute can change a person's life. Something that you think is so small and so minute can change a person's life. Because I tell you what, when my son was dealing with some illnesses in the hospital, and somebody brought me something as simple as a soup, I mean, not only did it feed me, but it fed my soul. Just to know that someone took the time to put all these recipes together and all these ingredients together and stir it up and make it feel good and it's warm, it warmed my soul. So don't ever underestimate your gift, whatever it is. People kill me when they use the term little in front of things. Oh, your little world championship speech? Oh, your little new career? Oh, that's cute. Oh, you just bought a little new house? Like, no. Don't let people devalue what you're doing. Nothing you do is little, because everything matters. Everything matters. And you don't know how important and how impactful whatever it is that you can do better than most other people. You never know the impact that can have on somebody else's life. It's the things that we call small, right? For example, we all love Chick-fil-A. Most of us love Chick-fil-A. I love Chick-fil-A, right? Remember when they was, and it still goes on today, but the pay it forward thing, right? The pay it forward. You get in the line, you order your food, you pay for the person behind you, right? Well, oh, that's a little thing. You just pay it for some chicken and fries, right? But what if the person behind you is a single parent, mom or dad, and the kids were just begging for Chick-fil-A. They didn't really have the money for real. I'm dipping into my utilities money. I'm dipping into my rent money, but the kids want Chick-fil-A. I want to be a good parent. I'm going to spend my last on Chick-fil-A, right? But the person in front of them paid that $45 for those nuggets, right? Do you know how impactful that is? Do you know how important that is? And we call that a little thing. Oh, they just pay for somebody. No, you change somebody's whole life by saving them $45 that they did not have. So I use that example just to say what you think is small is not. It's gigantic. It's tremendous. It's enormous. Stop belittling your gift because you feel like to society it's something minute or something irrelevant, because it's not. Follow those good feelings. If you feel good after this speech, I challenge you to do something with that good feeling. Whether it's call a relative that you haven't called in a long time, whether it's go in the room and just high five your children for no reason, whether it's going in the bathroom for 5 minutes, listening to your favorite song and just dancing by yourself and singing by yourself. Do something with these good feelings if you feel good after this speech. Do something with those good feelings and keep that same energy throughout the rest of the day. Follow your bliss. Follow what feels good. Keep the momentum going. Keep those good vibes going, because you're going to attract what you are. So if you keep that same good energy all day today, I guarantee you're not going to get bored through this whole entire day that is full of different activities, right? You're not going to get burnt out, because you're going to find the goodness in every single thing that you put your eyes to if you stay in alignment with those good feelings. Make sure you're checking your ego. Make sure you're not doing things just for the glory of it. Make sure you're not doing things just to say you did them. Making sure you're not doing things because you want to be the biggest, the baddest, and the best, right? Because whatever is for you is for you. What does that mean, Ramona? Whatever is meant for you to have, you're not going to have to force it. You're not going to have to force it, because there's a rapper named Common. He always says, you would have got it if you never would have stressed it. You would have got it if you never would have stressed it, right? That means that if you're forcing something and you're trying to make it happen, usually it's going to run away from you. You're creating resistance, right? When something is for you, it's going to fall into place. It may not fall into place the way you want it to fall into place, but it's going to fall into place. So you don't have to force it, right? You don't have to jump into a new career saying I'm the biggest, the baddest, and the best. Because if it's for you, you got hired. Whatever comes your way, you already know how to deal with it. So you don't have to be bigger or better than everybody else. You just simply are being. You are simply being who you are. When I got on that world championship stage in 2018, I didn't have to force it. I didn't have to force my way up to that level. I didn't have to be upset and mean and try to sabotage other people to get there. I'll tell you a quick story, because I know my time is coming to an end. When I was at the semifinals in Chicago, it was my first time ever at the semifinals. I was a little bit overwhelmed because there were a lot of Toastmasters there from a lot of different countries. And I was the only woman in my semifinals group. It was about 9 of us. I was the only woman. And I know that I was probably among the youngest in our group. And I was sitting there, and I know my nervousness was just exuding all around me. I'm sure I had a halo of nervousness. And so nobody was really saying anything. We didn't really know each other. So this older gentleman, when I say older, I'm close to 60. At the time I was 30. And he walks up to me. I'm like, yes, finally, somebody's going to give me an encouraging word. He bends down, whispers in my ear, and says, you know, I'm going to beat the pants off you, right? In case you missed that, an older gentleman came up to me, bent down in my ear, and said, you know, I'm going to beat the pants off you, right? And for me, I mean, he wasn't joking. He was serious. He didn't say, ha, 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 just kidding. Hey, my name is Jack. Nice to meet you. No, he said that. And then he got up and left. So I know he was getting in my head. He was trying to get in my head, right? But that was his ego. So he was going to beat the pants off of me or whatever, but I was wearing a skirt that day anyways. So I was afraid, and I was nervous, and I was scared. But apparently he saw something in me. He saw a light or something in me for him to even want to do that. Or that was his strategy for making it to the top, right? But is that not operating out of the ego? Is that not operating out of the ego? I have to tell everybody in this world that I'm the best and I'm going to beat you in order for me to feel like I can win. But me, I'm just this little girl from Ohio residing in Houston. I'm just here to have some fun. I'm just here to be me. And so we went on to compete. He was in my group. He gave a great speech. I gave a great speech. And Mr. I'm going to beat the pants off you didn't even place. Didn't even take first, second, or third, because he was operating out of his ego. And I was there just being me. All I had to do was prepare and show up. That's all I had to do. I didn't have to make anybody feel bad to get on the world championship stage. I didn't have to go around telling people that I was the best speaker and I knew I was going to win. I did that in 2015 and I got nowhere. So checking my ego. I was having fun the entire time I was in Chicago. I was a teacher. I didn't have a whole lot of money. I was a teacher, but I was with family. I was relaxed. I was calm. I was following those good feelings, and I was not operating outside of my ego. And the baby steps I took to get there, they were simple things. I didn't have to pay anybody a whole lot of money, $57 to compete. $57 to compete. I didn't have to pay a lot of people a whole lot of money or do anything extravagant. I took baby steps. I joined the organization. I signed a piece of paper, right? And that's how I conquered the world. I did it with humility and being down to earth by understanding that these gifts that I was given, these gifts that I've acknowledged, these gifts that I have, they're not for me. They are not for me. They are for the world. They are for the world. And so when I go in and I speak to these different people in these different countries, I don't go up there and I'm saying, you know, I'm this world champion and you're here just for me. So listen to me. Ha, ha, ha. No. How can I add value? How can I add value? How can I serve? How can I serve? Even in the highest of the highest of the highest positions, great leaders serve. Great leaders serve. But great leaders also operate in peace. They operate in joyfulness. They operate in happiness. Can you imagine if Mother Teresa had an attitude every day? Can you imagine if Gandhi went around the world like, no, I'm Gandhi. Why are you talking to me? Can you imagine if Dr. Martin Luther King was in a car while everybody else was marching on Washington? Like, no, I'm not marching. I'm Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. No, escort me. Right? Great leaders follow good feelings. Great leaders follow their good feelings. They check their egos and they take baby steps to get where they are. That's how you conquer your world and do it with humility. It's nothing worse than meeting your favorite celebrity or meeting your favorite leader and they are just stuck up and arrogant. It's heartbreaking. It is heartbreaking. So I don't want to be that person. I know many of us here don't want to be that person. If you do want to be that person for some reason, you have to reevaluate. You have to reevaluate. Because as I mentioned earlier, if you gain the whole world and you get everything that you want, but you still look in the mirror and you're not happy, you still have work to do. You still have work to do because that's where greed kicks in. If you become the world champion, and this is just my personal experience, if you become the world champion of public speaking and you're like, okay, I did that, so, and what's next? Like, you'll never feel a sense of satisfaction. But because I didn't stress it, and because I had fun, and because I followed those good feelings, and I wasn't in my ego, and in the back of my mind, it's like, how can I serve? How can I teach? How can I share? When I got it, I was grateful. I was grateful. I was grateful, full of gratitude, and it just made me want to give even more. It made me want to give even more. So I started coaching people. I started to work more with the youth, work more with the young people, because now I have this sense of gratitude. Like, I'm so happy and so filled, and my cup is so full that my cup is running over. I have a lot of excess. So who can I give it to? Who can I give it to? But I would not have gotten to that point of gratitude and joy if I was operating out of my ego, and if I wasn't following my bliss, and if I wasn't taking those baby steps. So in conclusion, what are you sitting on? What are you hoarding? What do you have that one of us on this call might need? What do you have that you're not sharing? And why are you not sharing it, right? And I'll address this because I know somebody's like, what? She's giving this speech from a car in a t-shirt? Yes, I am. Yes, I am, right? Because I'm in alignment with my son. And after this call is over, I'm going to go inside and be happy with my child that I traveled 2,000 miles to come see. So, yep, I'm giving this keynote in my car or in this rental with my son's basketball shirt on that my beautiful cousin made for me by hand. That's one of her gifts, right? Because I'm in alignment with my happiness. And if this message is for you, you're going to receive it, whether I was in my office in Houston or whether I was on top of that school bus over there. If this message is for you and you needed it, you're going to receive it. Because it's not about the messenger, it's about the message. It's not about the messenger, it's about the message. So I thank you all so much for your time. I encourage you to continue following those good feelings. So excited to go watch my son play basketball. I encourage you to continue to check your ego. Make sure you're not edging goodness out. And in anything that you want to do, take those baby steps to get there. Thank you so much. I'll turn it over back to the Toastmaster or contest chair or Miss Monica, whomever needs the virtual platform right now. Thank y'all so much. I appreciate it.